Hi viewers, welcome to this session, namely part 2 of ozonolysis. It's a continuation to our part 1. In part 1 of ozonolysis module, we have already seen what ozonolysis is and how ozonolysis takes place. During ozonolysis, an unsaturated compound, namely hydrocarbon like alkene, alkyne or benzene etc. will react with ozone by 1,3-dipolar addition and it forms an unstable mol ozonide. These mol ozonides are quite unstable due to the presence of lone pairs of electrons on oxygen, hence they immediately convert back to secondary ozonides. These secondary ozonides, depending upon the reagent that is supplied, here they may form a reductive ozonolysis product or oxidative ozonolysis product. During reductive ozonolysis, carbonyl compounds are formed. For reductive ozonolysis, normally we consider zinc or dimethyl sulfide in the reaction medium. Now let us discuss some important aspects of this ozonolysis concept with regard to IIT or NEET examinations on the board. In question number 1, he has taken a hydrocarbon and it is being subjected to reductive ozonolysis, and in this particular series of conversions he is asking us to identify compound D. Let us do this. So I have taken this particular alkene, and we know pretty well this alkene on treatment with reductive ozonolysis, a rupture occurs at C double bond C here, and we need to put a double bond O for this carbon and also double bond O for this particular carbon. As a result, we will be getting 2 moles of cyclopentanone like this. Now this is treated with sodium borohydride, which is a mild reducing agent, but it can convert corresponding carbonyl compounds to alcohols. So therefore I will be getting cyclopentanol like this. Now this is treated with a H+. And what happens? We know pretty well the hydroxy group contains 2 lone pairs of electrons and the proton will be attacking the lone pair of oxygen. As a result, OH2+ will be formed and it undergoes a dehydration, namely removal of water, and we are going to get cyclopentene like this. This cyclopentene is again treated with ozone in the presence of DMS. DMS is nothing but dimethyl sulfide. During this particular DMS usage, we are going to get reductive ozonolysis. So due to reductive ozonolysis, again we are going to get carbonyl compounds. We need to keep a double bond O for this particular carbon, first carbon, and also a double bond O for this particular carbon, which is 5th carbon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are going to get a diol with 5 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons like this, and we need to put a diol. So hydrogen here, hydrogen here. So this is the final compound obtained, 1,5 pentane diol. That's it. In question number 2, he has taken this organic compound and he treated with ozone followed by water. Mind you, here he is not using neither zinc nor DMS. Therefore, this is an oxidative ozonolysis. When oxidative ozonolysis takes place, this particular bond gets ruptured and we are going to get COOH at this particular carbon and also COOH at this carbon. Let us number this particular carbons such that it becomes easy for us to answer later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at first carbon and also at 8th carbon we are having COOH groups. So OH is here, another OH is here, and this is my first carbon which is converted to COOH, second carbon, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then this is the 8th carbon which is basically converted into COOH. Fine. Now this is compound A. Now he has basically heated this one such that a water molecule is lost. We know pretty well water molecule will be removed by this particular lactone formation. As a result, you see how a lactone is formed: first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon, fifth oxygen. So we need to write basically a 5-membered ring containing oxygen at one of the sites. Now this is the C double bond O, that is nothing but the first carbon. So this is the lactone, which is nothing but cyclic ester called as lactone. So this is the first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon, and the fifth one is oxygen atom, as already indicated in the previous structure here. Fine? Right. Now this one, what are the substituents left over? At third carbon I have a CH2OH. So this is the third carbon wherein I have a CH2OH. Now at second carbon, what is the substituent? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 CH2s and COOH. So therefore 5 CH2 groups are there like this with a COOH group. So this is the ultimate product to be formed. That's it. In question number 3, he has given this particular sequence and he is asking the final product D in this reaction. So to answer this, initially he has taken cyclopentyl chloride like this and he treated it with aqueous KOH. As a result, KCl will be removed like this, and then it becomes cyclopentanol. This on treatment with a proton undergoes dehydration will give cyclopentene like this. This cyclopentene is now subjected to reductive ozonolysis, very important. So during ozonolysis I told you, you need to rupture the C double bond C and put a double bond O at this particular carbon and also double bond O at this particular carbon. Again we are going to get a 1,5-diol. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons, and at the first carbon I have an aldehyde group, and also at the fifth carbon I have an aldehyde group like this. So this is basically C. Now this is treated with a base, very important, a dilute alkali. Now what is happening? This is nothing but intramolecular aldol condensation. Aldol condensation. So it will be attacking an alpha proton here. We have 2 protons on this particular carbon, so it will be attacking a proton. So therefore I am going to get generate a carbanion here. This carbanion generated will be attacking this particular group, carbonyl group. So let me write. So after the removal of this particular proton, a carbanion is generated here. This carbanion will be attacking this particular carbonyl carbon. As a result, the pi bond will be shifted, the hydrogen will be coming to this place. So what is the final product formed? I am going to get a cyclic ring consisting of 4 carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon, and then on the 4th carbon I have a OH, and on that particular first carbon I have a CHO like this. So on the first carbon I have CHO, okay, and the first carbon is connected to 4th carbon, this is the one. On the 4th carbon I have a OH. Let us suppose he has heated this one. When he heats this one, we are going to get alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde like this. So this is the final product, but because he did not heat, this is D. In case in future if he heats this, the product obtained will be this one, right? In question number 4, he has taken a gem dihalide and he has treated that one with alcoholic KOH or sodamide. Then he is going to get a compound A, and A is subjected to several reactions like this, and finally he is asking in the sequence of reactions what are the final products, namely F and G. Let's do this. So the initial gem dihalide that he has taken is 2,2-dichlorobutane. Mind you, when both the halogens are on the same carbon, it is called as gem dihalide. If both the halogens are on adjacent carbons, it is called as vicinal dihalide. So this is treated with a dehydrohalogenating agent, alcoholic KOH or sodamide. Both of them are very good dehydrohalogenating agents, and we know pretty well here poor becomes poorer, namely the Saidjoff rule will be followed. As a result, we are going to get the formation of 2-butene. So HCl will be removed like this. As a result, we are going to get 2-butene, CH3, C, triple bond C, CH3. This 2-butene is subjected to Lindlar's catalyst, that is H2PD BaSO4. So Lindlar's catalyst generally will give us a cis product. Therefore, we are going to get a cis 2-butene in this case. So partial hydrogenation occurs due to Lindlar's catalyst when it is treated with an alkyne. So we are getting 2-butene in this case. This 2-butene is treated with, cis 2-butene is treated with MCPBA, namely metachloroperbenzoic acid. Now this will give very important product. This is for epoxidation. So what type of epoxidation occurs? Here the stereochemistry is not changing. Therefore we are going to get this epoxide. Very important. This is the epoxide that we are getting. Now this epoxide, if it is hydrolyzed, we are going to get transdiols. But he did not hydrolyze this one. He has treated this epoxide with methyl magnesium bromide. Methyl magnesium bromide. Very important. Methyl magnesium bromide will generate a nucleophile, namely methyl anion. So this anion will attack any one of these two carbons because of the partial positive charge that is observed. Why? Because both the carbons are equivalent, therefore it can attack any one of these two carbons. As a result, the pi bond will be shifted like this. So we are going to get a secondary alcohol in this case. What is that secondary alcohol that we are getting? It is nothing but CH3, C, CH3 from the alkyl magnesium halide, H, single bond, C, CH3, H and a OH. Of course, this is obtained after hydrolysis. I have done both the steps here itself. Now this is being treated with a H+. See the series of reactions he is continuously giving. So here dehydration occurs. Because of the dehydration, we are getting a product, namely CH3, C, CH3, double bond, C, CH3. This is the product obtained. So this is subjected to reductive ozonolysis. Reductive ozonolysis in the presence of DMS. Then here the rupture occurs. So we are going to get acetone and acetaldehyde as the final product. So this is our acetone and this is our acetaldehyde. That's it. Now in question number 5, he has taken an organic compound A which on reductive ozonolysis formed these compounds. Now he is asking to identify the A. Now how do you proceed? For simplicity, I am taking these 3 organic compounds which are obtained as products as 3 fragments, namely A, B, C. So to predict the alkene or the precursor after ozonolysis, always write down the products obtained after ozonolysis in certain fashion such that the O's are projected outward, as I am showing it here. I am taking A as it is. Structurally it is given like that, therefore I am taking as it is, and I am arranging C here like this. You see, I am arranging such that both the oxygens face each other. Now what is left over? B is left over. I want to arrange that B with single oxygen here like this. So this is our B part, this is our A part, and this is our C part. Now I'll tell you a trick. What is the trick? Remove the oxygens and join the C double bond C's. So here it is hydrogen, mind you, and these are the oxygens that we are removing, and we need to place double bonds. Therefore, what is the compound obtained? Let us see. I also will number for simplicity. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbons are there. So I am writing the 4 carbons here. 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons, a hydrogen here and also a hydrogen here. So we have a double bond which is linked to the part C like this, hydrogen, hydrogen, that's it. And now this double bond here is linked to what? A CH2 group from part B, fraction B. So as a result, this is the product that I am getting. So what is the final product that I am going to get? This on ozonolysis will give all these three fragments. Therefore, the initial precursor taken is nothing but, that's it. This is the answer. He has passed acetylene through red hot copper tube. So we get benzene. This is the benzene that we are getting. So this benzene is subjected to reductive ozonolysis, O3, zinc, H2O. Then what happens in reductive ozonolysis? We know pretty well. The rupture occurs at C double bond C. Therefore, here the rupture occurs. Here also the rupture occurs completely. Here also the rupture occurs. Therefore, as a result, what happens? Wherever C double bond C is broken, we need to put double bond O to that carbon and also double bond O to the other carbon like this. So we need to write the double bond O's at each carbon like this. And mind you, at each of these carbons in benzene, we already have a hydrogen also. Therefore, what is the final product that you are getting? You are getting CHO single bond CHO. Therefore, this is nothing but glyaxol. So we are getting 3 molecules of glyaxol, that is CHO single bond 3HO. Now this is treated with what? A concentrated alkali at elevated temperature. Very important. This is a special case of Kennegerose reaction called as intramolecular Kennegerose reaction. Intramolecular reaction. We know very well in Kennegerose reaction, one aldehyde group gets oxidized, the other aldehyde group gets reduced. So this becomes carboxylic acid part and this becomes alcoholic part like this. COOH single bond CH2OH. This is the product. But because excess base is present, NaOH, this carboxylic acid gets changed to sodium salt of carboxylic acid. So this is the final product obtained. This is the final product. This is C. Here he is asking us the products of reductive ozonolysis of isoprene. What is isoprene? 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene is called as isoprene. This is 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. So this is subjected to what? Reductive ozonolysis. During reductive ozonolysis, what happens? The C double bond C gets broken and we are going to get carbonyl compounds. So let us see how the rupture occurs. Here the rupture occurs, here the rupture occurs. So therefore we are going to get CH2O because this is our CH2 group. This is also our CH2 group. Therefore we are going to get 2 moles of formaldehyde CH2O plus 1, 2, 3 carbons. So we are going to get CH3, C double bond O and CHO. So this is the product obtained. In these questions he is asking us the final product obtained after the ozonolysis. So let's concentrate on this particular question number 8. Here, where are the ruptures occurring? The ruptures will occur at this place because it's a double bond completely ruptured. So a double bond O here, a double bond O here will be coming. And because there is a triple bond, we need to rupture only the double bond present between the 2 carbons. Therefore, this sigma bond will be present as it is, and a double bond O here and a double bond O here also will come. So as a result, what is the final product? Let us write down the final product. This is CH3CHO, CH3CHO. Then what is the other fragment? CH double bond O, single bond CH2, single bond C double bond O, single bond CHO. That's it. This is the product obtained because it's a reductive ozonolysis. He has used DMS. Now come to this particular question. Here he has taken an organic compound subjected to again reductive ozonolysis. A double bond gets broken like that, and we are going to get cyclopentanone plus acetone. Here he may give you a twist like this. This he may be asking, I am going to get two products A and B. B responds iodoform test. So what is B? So B must be acetone because iodoform test is given by cardinal compounds which are having CH3CO group. This is not having CH3CO group, therefore B must be acetone. He may give a twist like that. Now coming to question number 10. In question number 10, he is subjecting this particular compound to oxidative ozonolysis. See here he is not using zinc. So during oxidative ozonolysis what happens? We are going to get carboxylic acids as the product. So the rupture occurs at this place. We are going to get COH plus a single carbon is there, therefore single carbon acid is formic acid. So these are the products obtained. That's it. Thank you.